Despite promising not to raise taxes on working people during last year's election campaign, Rachel Reeves has reportedly told her Cabinet colleagues that taxes will have to rise in the autumn budget to cover the cost of Labour's decision to abandon the reforms to welfare. And in what could prove to be another serious PR blunder, this comes on the same day as Keir Starmer released this video promising to make Britain fairer and put more money in your pockets. Have a look.
But I also know that at times it doesn't feel like Britain is fair enough for those people, the people who are getting on with it. And that's what drives me forward, at home or representing our interests abroad. I'm putting you first, making Britain fair for you again, building more affordable houses, fixing the NHS, securing our borders, giving your kids more opportunities, cleaning up our streets, putting more money in your pocket.
More money into your pockets. Now, I know that he gets distracted as Prime Minister. He's admitted that, but I'm assuming that he will look at the front pages of the newspapers today, which are mostly covered with stories about Reeves fears tax turmoil and Reeves, I might have to put taxes up. And then her boss comes out with, well, I'm going to put more money in your pockets. And it's like, no wonder she's in tears, to be honest with you. I don't blame her at all. Any case, let's now talk to former Mayor of Middlesbrough and political commentator Andy Preston. Andy, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Really appreciate your time.
Hi, Dawn.
Andy, we are celebrating, in inverted commas, a year of the Labour government. The anniversary was actually yesterday. And we had Rachel Reeves admitting that she might have to put taxes up. And at the same time, Keir Starmer saying, I'm going to put more money in your pockets. Andy, you couldn't make this government up, could you?
You could not make this up, Dawn. It is staggering. Listen, the team who promised stability, decency, honesty and integrity, it has been one thing after another, whether it's been the MP who punched someone. We had the minister, Louise Haigh, was it? It was a fraudster. We've had all the free gear, all the freebies, all kinds of shenanigans. But now, actually, Dawn, it's much more serious. This is now the very beginning, or perhaps even just exiting the beginning, going to the medium part of a full-blown financial problem that could become a genuine crisis. Because what we've got, Starmer and Reeves are not in charge. The backbenchers and the unions are in charge, and they are deciding what policies will happen. They're deciding what monies will be spent and what will be cut. And I'll tell you something, backbenchers are cowardly. They want to save their own skin and be popular, so they don't like making cuts. So, Dawn, we are on a road to bankruptcy, a 15-year path to bankruptcy. If we don't make tough decisions now, they're going to be murderous later and cripple the poorest.
But Andy, she promised us there wouldn't be any tax raises for ordinary working people.
She did promise that. And do you know what? I think in her head, I thought they could do it. I think they thought they could do it. I think they thought, we're the good guys, it's going to be easy. We'll just be nice and kind and it'll be easy. Being in power is so tough. And when there's no money, it's almost impossible. So the next question is, if they're not going to put tax up for working people, if they can avoid that somehow, like income tax, what will they do? Well, my money would be on capital gains tax. Labour MPs, most of them don't understand what it is, so that won't cause too many problems internally, but it might harm the economy. But short term, cap gains tax could raise maybe 5 billion. The problem is they've got a black hole now of about 20 billion they've got to fix this autumn. It's really tough. And in case people think I'm being dramatic, Greece's national debt 2 years before they went completely bust was 100% of their GDP. Ours is about the same. And we've got people in charge now who aren't allowed to or daren't make the cuts we need to balance the books. I fear that we are, as some people quip, Greece without the sun, that we're on that slope and things are going to get worse and worse, and it will take a bailout or a full-blown crisis. Liz Truss, that shenanigans could be nothing compared to what's in store over the next year or two.
Do you want to save a boatload of cash this summer, wherever you have a trip planned? The one thing you're going to need is access to the internet and on the go. And you can do that easily with Saily. Hit the link in the description to get 15% of your first eSIM plan ready for your trip so you can browse to your heart's content. Saily gets you a local SIM card you can use when traveling so you don't have to pay those crazy roaming fees just to send a message or check the latest news. Now, they've got plans in over 160 countries, 8 regions, so pretty much everywhere, wherever you're going, they'll be able to make sure you're connected. So how does it work? All you've got to do is this. Hit the link in the description to download the app. It will work on iOS or Android. Buy a plan, you can choose an amount of data and time frame that suits you best, and then just install the eSIM on your phone. When you land at your holiday destination, you can activate your plan instantly. And if that wasn't enough, Saily eSIMs only ever have to be installed once. So when you go on your next trip, you just buy a plan for a new country, turn that eSIM back on, and boom, you're back watching me on GB News. I'll be using a Saily SIM on my next holiday because it's actually faster than some of the hotel Wi-Fis. You can get unlimited data if you want, so you can scroll away to your heart's content. And when you leave the hotel, you don't have to do that annoying thing of Wi-Fi hopping because you've got constant connectivity wherever you go. And they've got 24/7 support as well and a full refund policy if your eSIM isn't compatible. So get sorted for your next trip. Download Saily using the link in the description below. And if you use the code NEWS at checkout, you'll get an exclusive 15% discount on us. So click the link, download Saily, and use the code NEWS at checkout.
So, Andy, what I don't understand is why Keir Starmer is putting that message out on social media this morning saying, you know, we are going to put more money in your pocket. I mean, the Conservatives did an estimate. I think the average family is going to be at least £275 off a year. I mean, obviously, the Conservatives, they would say that in any case, but they've done some sums on it. So how can he put that message out today of all days?
I think that he doesn't get it. Do you know what I think? I don't think he's necessarily stupid, but there's a dimension to his character that doesn't see what we all see. And what's interesting, right? We need him to be positive. We need leaders, prime ministers, to be positive and make us feel good about the future. And if he said, you know what, things are really tough and we're going to have to put some taxes up temporarily, but we've got a plan. And in 2 years' time, we're going to start reversing those tax rises. We're going to be much better off and we can start spending money on great things. I think people would potentially go with him. But no one believes him when he says you're going to be better off. He's one of these people you don't believe.
This is the problem, Andy. If it had come initially, right, I can remember that in the Rose Garden, it feels like a lifetime ago now, where he was going to say, it's going to be tough, it's going to be very hard, it's all going to be doom and gloom. Not a great start, but if it had been honest then and come up with, say, I don't know, a policy like, we're going to put 1 penny on the income tax of everybody, most people would have gone, OK, I can probably cope with that. I mean, it's going to be, what, 270 quid for an average income earner? Most people would have done that, and that would have been honest. So if it had been honest then, we'd have maybe not been in this situation now, as you say, financially, the country's in a terrible state. But the fact that he wasn't honest then, and is still not being honest now, is he not talking to ordinary people? No,
and I think you are dead right. Do you know what? If he'd said we're putting income tax up a penny for everyone, and the highest earners it's 2p, and we're putting VAT up by 2p, so your restaurant bill is going to be 2% higher, and capital gains tax is going up to whatever, 27%. That would have balanced the books, and I think people would have thought, do you know what, that's a bit of pain, but we'll get through it. And then he could sell us the optimism, the vision of the future. But there's been no honesty and no vision of the future. That's the problem, is that it's really clear they were elected without a plan. There's no strategy, and what's worse, Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves aren't even in charge anymore.
I mean, Andy, obviously there are very strong opinions there, and we are going to be talking about this subject throughout the programme because it affects everybody out there, right? Especially if you're a pensioner, because there is some story now that they may be looking at our pension pots, which is, it's like, what have you got against the elderly? I mean, I'm speaking as one at the moment. But there's the other story in the Telegraph today. Starmer poised to block wealth taxes, which for a Labour government, you would have thought, actually, why don't start taxing the wealthy a bit more? That you're Labour, this is what you're meant to be doing. But that doesn't seem to be an option now either.
Well, it's appealing, isn't it? So the idea of the wealth tax is you target people who have got, say, assets or cash of 10 million or more, and you get them to pay 2% a year. And in theory, that produces you 20, 30, 40 billion. It sounds brilliant. But what happens, guess what happens is the ones who stay find ways to avoid it, nearly all of them, and others actually clear off abroad to Dubai or Switzerland or Italy, places that are very friendly to wealthy people. And that's what we've got going on, Dawn. That's the problem. We have 16,000 millionaires leaving who pay an average of £300,000 a year tax. Now, somebody say, oh, I don't care, let the rich leave. That's a problem for everyone. They take with them 5 billion in tax. So that's a 5 billion black hole that we've then got to find amongst those of us who stay. So we desperately need the wealthy to stay because, like it or not, it's the wealthiest who bankroll the hospitals, the roads, defence and everything else. They pay hugely disproportionate tax sums. I'm not saying that we need to worship them or adore them, but we need to find a way to keep the wealthy here. And a wealth tax would categorically chase them away.
Lordy, lordy, what a mess. Andy Preston, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate that. It's former Mayor of Middlesbrough and political commentator Andy Preston for you there. Obviously very strong words. And one thing Andy did say about Louise Hay, she's not here to defend herself, but she would deny the allegation that she is a fraudster. Very strong words from Andy, but that's what we're all about, isn't it? So I want to hear what you're thinking about this. Are you feeling vulnerable this morning? I mean, obviously Rachel Reeves has made a lot of people cry this year with pensioners, farmers, people in running small businesses, people in private schools, etc., etc., etc. However, I'm starting to understand why she is in tears. Because this is one unholy mess. I wouldn't want her job now. But hey, she did want that job, so you make your bed, you lie in it, as my mum would say.